You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
Yeah, so as you were saying, I went to that Jags game, like, the video will come out soon, but me and Charlie spoke to, or mostly Charlie spoke to fans outside the ground, and everyone was just so positive. It was like, you know what? It's been a tough season so far, but Tua's back. We're playing a team who haven't won in 20 games, 0-5 in the season. It was going to be a cakewalk. And I think, I haven't told Charlie this. I told 5 Yard Lee, who was with me at the game, even though, like, on the podcast, I was like, you know what? It's going to be a W. I was trying to be positive. On my son's life, during the week, I was like, the Dolphins are going to lose this game by a field goal because that's what the Dolphins do. The Jaguars hadn't scored a single field goal going into that game. So it was only right that the Jags won by a field goal. And when it happened, like, I remember I was... At first, I thought he was short because it was a weak kick. So I was like, yeah. And then I was like, hold on.
I thought the same thing.
That's got the legs. And it went in. And I just closed my laptop. I was just like, yeah, that's it. Like, this is just brutal. And then, the players after, like I said in the last episode, Brian Flores he was in a bad way, a very bad way. Tua had that winner's mentality where he's like, you can tell that this loss hurt as well. He was being asked, you had some really good drives. And he responded, but we lost. It doesn't mean anything. I think Waddle said the same thing as well when he's asked, he scored 2 touchdowns, had X amount of yards, and he's like, yeah, but the team lost. Wilkins was asked about his sack. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. The team lost. What did you make of I know this is the Falcons preview show, but what did you make of the Jags game?
Well, I mean, I thought for most of the game they did pretty decent. I thought Tua was making great decisions outside of the interception, which, I mean, if you saw his interview afterwards about it and stuff like that, I know you did, it was just an error mistake, and everybody gets one of those. Everyone has something like that. But I don't know, it seemed like the third quarter was just such an epic failure. And it was like the game was off the rails. And it kind of that impending doom set in as a Dolphins fan. And so Dolphins doesn't surprise us,
Yeah.
It sucks to be that way kind of with the team because, I mean, even last time when I was on, I was stoked, you know what I'm saying? And we believe it. And Tua's a pro, as you can see. He's the kind of cat that I believe he could win somewhere. I just don't know what's going on with the team so much right now after a loss like that because it just seems like, I don't know, we didn't see this kind of bad coaching from Flo, these bad decisions. We didn't see all the steps back. Did they get too smart for themselves last year? Did Flo overextend himself? Did he think I can control the offense and make it better than Chan Gailey? I can micromanage the offense. Did he do that with the special teams too? Like even undervaluing Matt Hawk. This is a good example, I think. Even undervaluing Matt Hawk. He's doing decent in Buffalo, as everybody who would know does. But our special teams have taken a step back. Where's the difference? Our punter isn't doing better than Matt Hawk did last year, and our kicker isn't. And that's because it's another thing that they messed with. They messed with everything. And I think, a blind fan, like they say, I would say, yeah, man, if he does this and it works, it's going to be great. And I think everything's going to work because, honestly, up to this point, everything did kind of work for Flo last year. It seemed like they got the calls. I mean, we didn't get not one call yesterday or Sunday. We got every bad call, no red flags went our way. It's just a snowball of epic proportion. And we've kind of seen this before as Dolphin fans where it's just completely off the rails. And I don't know how to even fix it. I don't think they know either. It's just going to take one of those things where it just starts working. I think if they galvanized behind Tua and believed he was going to be like the quarterback and they did this, but even if you look at it, just logically, they didn't build okay, the weapons might be for Tua, but outside of Waddle and maybe what Albert Wilson should be, which he's obviously not. Why do they have Albert Wilson out there? It's almost, I mean, you can almost get conspiracy about it. It literally looks like everything against them. It's almost like they're like, okay, Tua, if you can throw this entire offense on your back and be the baddest quarterback of all, top 5 quarterback, then we're going to be all right. It's like, why would you do that to a young quarterback, an injury-prone, smaller quarterback? Where's this running game at? Why didn't we draft any running back? And all of us, wanted one, but we understood not taking one. It's really put it off the rails, that Jags game, man. It really has.
Yeah,
So,
I think it was after the Colts game, Charlie and I said that there's no such thing as a winnable game for the Dolphins this season, because that was a winnable game. We all went to that Colts game going, Carson Wentz has 2 bad ankles, all these injuries, even with Jacoby Brissett, we'll be fine.
Yep.
And we lost. So it was naive of Dolphins fans to go into a Jaguars game and go, this is a winnable game. Because the Dolphins have shown this season they don't do winnable games.
And the Jags on the other side were thinking the same thing, and that's obvious because they got the win. It's ugly. And shout out to Charlie, who's out sick and everything like that today. And just want to say hi to Charlie. I know he's going to be watching and stuff like that. And anyone who's watching and doing the show, make sure to like and subscribe for Go Time Dolphins and everything like that. Make sure everybody's hitting the like and subscribe on that.
I feel like trying to take Charlie's job.
No, I'm just trying to make sure I'm filling in good for my boy, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to let anybody down, dude. Make sure everybody's hitting the like, subscribe, get it, dude. These guys are trying to do it right and help them out. That's it.
Yeah, I think the only way to kind of respond to that is this is Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast. That's not only for the fans, but by the fans. I'm Kadeem Simmons, and with me isn't Charlie Touche, it's Chris Adams. I feel like even me doing it with my UK accent isn't quite the same. Charlie got that kind of swagger that and like I
could get that arrogance behind my voice, that kind of swagger stuff, but I don't. Charlie gonna beat me at it, man. He's got it down to a T. I'd have to sit down and practice it a couple times. Like, all right, this is Go Time Dolphins already. I can't do it. I can't. Yeah, I'm not gonna play. You know what I'm saying?
I think
big shoes to fill.
Yeah, 100%. But I think we kind of knew, that Charlie wasn't going to be in this episode. It was going to be me and you.
Yeah.
And it's like we kind of said, that the Dolphins are in such a perilous state right now that you don't want to laugh. There's nothing to laugh at, nothing to be happy about. But at the same time, you said it off here. Just being able to talk Dolphins is just cathartic. It's like it's getting off your chest, and here we are laughing. And I think at this point in the season, 1-5, playoffs are done. Let's be honest.
We've accepted our fate, and it's time we got to start accepting the new fate and looking forward to the things we can control. We can control looking to be there. Is these coaches going to get fired? Is it the GM? I don't know. I got plenty of opinions on that kind of stuff. Maybe we'll get into it later, but it is what it is, man. We can't sit here and be mad because I mean I'm on Facebook sometimes and I'm guilty of it as well. But I noticed the team is in such a bad way right now because of that Jags loss that we're attacking each other on social media. We're measuring each other's fandom. I've been a fan since birth, 1985. I mean, it is ugly out there right now. I ain't even on the watching or reading or comment on nothing. I did one thing and you get into arguments. It's just, that's how bad it is. And last year, especially going into the season, I mean, we were hyping each other up. We're supposed to be playoff bound. And, upon further analysis, we don't have no blocking for a small injury-prone quarterback. We got no running game. And this kid's throwing up darts, kind of the same offense he did last year, which we complained all offseason about. He's only going to his first read. The first win, they're like, he only goes to his first read. He's terrible. You take away the first read, he's got nothing. Well, on this team, that's true because you take away the first read, he's on his backside, busted all up. It is ugly, man. Back to like the kicker. I mean, Kyle Van Noy's gone. Is he that important to the team? Are these guys underachieving because of what they see, what we see? They obviously see what we see. Deshaun Watson is talked about every week. Win or loss. Well, it's only been losses, so I can't make that. I can't make that. But it's gotten ugly, man. And I don't know, man. My gut tells me they might do it, man. I mean, it just looks weird. Like Flo is just like he's making. It's not the same looking coaching. Everything is just so different. It's bad. It's ugly, and that might be where people get desperate to pull the trigger. I mean, Chris Greer, if he might need to do that to keep his job. He might do that and still lose his job, you know. And I don't know to blame Chris Greer on everything because there's a lot of good talent. I look at these kids; they're all young, they all have talent, they all do great things. That tells me coaching. That tells me coaching. It's not scheme. Maybe it's scheme, and if it's scheme, then it's definitely coaching. Because why would you put these guys in bad position? When I see Tua with the no running and a no offensive line, that's bad position. This is a bad thing. And I don't think, like I said, is Coach Flo arrogant? Because I don't see arrogance. I see a guy with some humility, but did he just overshoot his shot? Did he feel himself like we all felt him last year and he just put too much on his plate? Because that's what it looks like. You know, I run a small business. And when I was younger and I had success, that's what I've done. Everyone does it, and you learn from it. I feel like I don't want Chris Greer to lose his job because him and Flo are the same. You bring another GM in, it's only a matter of time before he pushes him out, or you end up where the coach is the GM, and I don't care. That never works. Now you think he's power crazy now, it's going to get real bad. But that if you start messing with the top, it's going to get ugly. But they're so messing with it. I heard on some other thing, you know, us fans kind of act how the team's acting. They're wishy-washy on their picks. They're wishy-washy on their guys. We're ready. We're like, fire them, you know, but that's what this team does. They're like, we're trading everybody. We're firing everybody. So right now people don't even want to give Tua a chance. And I don't even think the team or the organization is. It doesn't look like it to me because I think personally he could be a winner. But I'm not in measurables from him to what they are measuring him to. Deshaun Watson, there's no comparison. That guy, I mean, in 2 years, he might be the best quarterback in the entire football league. You know what I'm saying? The next year, he plays a full season MVP. He is that good. And I'm not saying Tua can't be. I think he's capable of it. But I think there's no comparison to that kind of just freak talent. Tua's an potential elite talent, good talent. This guy's a freak talent. He's a Patrick Mahomes type, you know, and I think for better or for worse, what I've seen out of the team, they're going to do something crazy one way or the other. And I don't want to be here for another blow up. Stephen Ross ain't going to let it happen. You know, the word on the street right now is Stephen Ross is somebody's going to do something this year. By the end of this year, we all know it's coming. Like, okay, if we stick with Tua now and we win, I don't know, we split the rest of the season, what do you think's going to happen? Everybody is gone. I mean, we might lose Flo next year, and I don't think Flo's the problem. And we're definitely going to lose Chris Greer, and I don't think he's the problem either. And I know Tua isn't the problem. And I know that getting Deshaun might not fix it, but they've kind of forced themselves in this situation by overshooting their shot on young, unproven talent and young, unproven coaching staff and young, unproven everywhere. And now they're like, dang, dude, unless Tua can play like a top 5 quarterback to bring it back around again, we got to do something and get one. And I get it. You know, you look at what the Texans were with Deshaun. They only won 4 games, and he had like an MVP season. But I mean, what do you think about this Deshaun stuff, man? I mean, it's crazy to me. I hate to even bring it up because I know Charlie's like, I hate Deshaun. He don't want to talk about it till anything's set in stone. But it just feels like it's a friggin' slow comet coming right at us. You know, it's coming. It's a one either at the end of the year because we lost and everyone stunk, you know, and the team and Chris Greer got fired and Ross is taking over and he makes some weird guy it, and that guy knows if I don't get Deshaun here, I'm losing my job. You know, the only reason he hired him is because he's going to do what Ross wants. Because it seems to me that Ross is getting Deshaun Watson no matter what. So, and I hate to say that, but there's way too much fire. There ain't even smoke no more. I see the glow over the mountains, you know?
Yeah, it's so it must have been, was it yesterday, Wednesday, where John McClane, the Houston Chronicle beat writer,
Yep.
and apparently he's the guy in Houston. People are saying he's the one that kind of broke the Laramie Tunsil trade to Miami. So
Yeah.
if McClane writes, pay attention. And he said that Watson to Miami looking a goer. Looking like the Dolphins have pulled the trigger on making the deal. The Texans are happy. Trade deadline is next week. It's going to happen.
Makes sense to me. It
Yeah.
does. I mean, if you're Houston, I mean, we played them the week of the trade deadline. What the last thing they want to do to their fans after all of this, and to the credit to their new coach, seems like he has those players really believe in him. He seems like a really good guy. He's as advertised for their team. From what I could see, but they're just devoid of talent, and everyone's aging, and their guys on second and third year contracts in positions that are risky anyhow. There's no money put into the team, but he's got them not dissimilar to what we did in 2019. You know what I'm saying? But from what I can see, they play us that week. If we trade him at the trade deadline, there's no chance. I mean, I think it's 6 days, and then we play them. I mean, they don't want to. The last thing I would want to see as a Texans fan, bleeding whatever colors they got, like us sitting here commercing, is going, trade Deshaun, get everything he can, but God, I don't want him to be here in friggin' my stadium watching him torch me for 40 more points, because he's going to do it to you. I don't care what's up. He'll run for 5 touchdowns if whatever, just to rub it in their faces. And the owner doesn't want to do that either. You know what I'm saying? That's what it looks like to me. It sucks, man, because I really like to. I watched his interview today, man. The kid is just A+ on all those things you want your guy to be A+ about. And when you have Deshaun Watson, who's got character questions for certain, there's no guessing whether it's all fake or not. He's put himself in a character question type of circumstance to allow this to happen in his life. You know what I'm saying? There's been something.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I think it's 22 lawsuits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like 10 of them are criminal.
So and again, for me, that I am a Tua fan. I've got Tua posters behind me.
Oh yeah,
Tua jersey. Like I've got my little Tua sitting over there. I am a Tua guy. So for that reason alone, I stick with Watson. And I know all the people who turn around and say, but you got the chance to get a top 5 quarterback and all that kind of stuff. And let's be totally realistic right now. We're 1-5. We aren't a top 5 quarterback away from doing anything.
I agree. But I don't think that's what's gonna. I don't think that's any of the reason. I don't think anyone, even them. I think it's all about political stuff in the upper higher ups. They got a gajillionaire pissed that's getting ready to start chopping heads off, uncharacteristically.
But then it's like, and me and Charlie have said this on this episode before. Others have said it on various different shows. You can't guarantee when Deshaun Watson will be allowed to play football again. So you could trade for him right now, and he doesn't see the field until 2023. So you're giving up multiple first and second round picks for someone you physically can't play, because you might trade for him and he goes on the commissioner's exempt list, or he's in jail. And then what? And I think there's a lot of people saying that. A lot of people saying that the Dolphins want some kind of security on their picks to basically guarantee that if he is in jail or something, they get the picks back. If that's the case, then just don't make the trade. If you're that desperate for Watson, make the trade when he's got nothing hanging over his head. And
that would be the best way, but I mean, like it literally sets you up for the bait and switch. You go to we got a new quarterback. Oh, he's off to jail. Like right the next week, and it might not cost you 3 first-round picks, but it might cost you 2. And now everyone who's saving their job loses their job. I'm just saying that when I see the fans attacking each other and how crazy this season is, if we only win 5 games this year, that's happening anyhow. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I mean. Like, people are going to get desperate to do anything. And right now, the owner's making it pretty apparent what he thinks should be done. And that's why for the wrong reasons and probably inevitably the wrong outcome, where we'll end up looking like we look at Tannehill going, man, if one more year we could have had that, but not really. You know, like I said, they got a great running back and they built around him the right way. They didn't force him in a wrong system, kind of like how they're doing with Tua right now. And I agree, you put Deshaun here. What the heck else is he going to do? He's not going to do it, but I don't think it's going to fix it. But in some ways, it's like, okay, if I think what the only measurable as an owner or someone, you know, when it's this close to your face, you can't see it at third perspective. So, and he's in it. You know what I'm saying? I think from where he would be, I'd try to put it see it that way. I think he's saying, if I had the same team I had last year with Deshaun Watson, I'd be in the Super Bowl. And that's what he's looking at.
That was my next point. If this was at the end of the season and the Dolphins hadn't played a game in 2021, you could see why. But again, people are making the comparisons. Watson in Houston with no running game, no wide receivers, no O-line, and no defense, even putting up MVP talent was with no winning 4 games. That's going to happen. Like the Dolphins have no defense, no run game, no receivers, no O-line. It's like Watson moving from one Buns team to another Buns team.
I love the Buns.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I exactly. But I think even back to face value, Coach is Flo is gonna get a defense, can run it again. I mean, we saw them build it out of mincemeat, in 19, and towards the end of the year, guys like Nick Needham are looking like viable stuff. I mean, the defense outside of a couple of linebackers and stuff like that, and playing a long time, not last game, but most of the games since Tua was out. I think that can get fixed, and I think no matter what, if the defensive coaching or whatever is a problem, Flo will just take it all over, and he can control at least that side of the ball. If the special teams guys got to get kicked, and the punter, you said that was going to be good, you're fired. If they can get another punter, those are easy fixes. A quarterback is the hardest thing to find, and even with a guy like Tua, that you need more things to build around, where you can have a Buns, like you like to say, O-line, and not that many weapons, and this guy can spin around and run and chuck the ball like a passion. That's the difference from him to Tua. Not that Tua can't do all that stuff, and I believe he can. And and really, that's not the kind of team I want. I don't want that football team. I don't want the team where I'm living and dying by the sword of my quarterback running around like a madman. It's fun to watch, and maybe you get a Super Bowl out of it. But from what I've seen, what's happened to us as Dolphin fans, we've seen that fail and epically fail. They get hurt, they're done. But this league is crazy now, bro. Like, it's hard to build a Patriot-style thing. You need, I hate to admit it, and I always want it the way we were building it. I think that's what it is. The plan has changed, and we're all like, no, we don't like the plan changing. It was going to be a quarterback, a system, everything built around. We were going to have from the ground up and continue to do it every year and be that. They obviously can't do it. They've shown they can't do it. And the owner's going to be like, give me the best, most talented, most expensive quarterback to make up for your bad coaching, your bad schemes, and your lack of ability to find talent. And I'll fire all you and get someone that can do it with an elite quarterback. Because right now, Tua's not even getting a chance to show he can be, because he's caught in a rock and a hard place. There's nothing for him. No one's looking at anyone on offense with an answer. Who's got the answer? Devontae Parker? He's a quiet person. I don't think he's not the standout guy. Jesse Davis, he obviously doesn't have an answer. I see him on the floor all the time. I mean, he looks bad. And I know he's injured, and I like Jesse Davis, but it's bad they need someone with answers, and that's going to take time. And this is an answer that an owner could buy, and that's what he would do. That's what he would do. We did that with the Ndamukong Suh to buy the defense, and it didn't work. Yeah, but I think we're getting ready to see something like that happen again. And I just would rather it happen with our same GM and our same coach, so then they can adjust the plan to this now and build a different type of team, because I believe they can build a winner. But if we lose all these guys and then end up with that quarterback, I don't know what to believe now. we could end up, wasting an elite talent and us loving him because everything works out. But he ends up like Dan Marino, no championship, no nothing. And not that we won't, love him because he did good for us and maybe his past cleared up or whatever happened gets worked out and it goes on. But that's not what we want. We want to win. We just want to win. Give me one so I can have something, please.
Yeah. It's so funny because people saying, well, just let Chris Greer, go and trade for Deshaun Watson, and Ross is going to allow him to do that. And it's like, if Chris Greer and the Dolphins trade for Deshaun Watson, it basically means their entire plan of, but like you said, building up from the bottom has failed, and it's failed with Greer in charge. So why are you then going to allow him to make the trade? You're like, no, like get out of my building because you failed me. You sold me on a dream where we got rid of Ryan Tannehill, Cameron Rake, Rashard Jones, all these guys. Tannehill's balling in Tennessee. Obviously, Wake and Jones haven't played since, or Wake was in Tennessee as well. But it's like, I think as a Tua fan, but as a lot of Dolphins fans as well, it's don't pass up on Tua and watch him go be Drew Brees in elsewhere.
Oh no, that's going to happen. That is going to happen. Again, wherever Tua goes, that will be the scenario. He will be between Drew Brees and Russell Wilson, certainly, bro. I think we know this. I just don't think they're going to be able to do it here for whatever reason. And that maybe it's just we're destined to be just on this time loop of wasting elite talent, not timing it up right, taking a good enough talent and not building it properly, firing the coach for the new quarterback whisperer. And we just, it stinks, man. It really friggin' drives me crazy because I agree.
It's so funny though because and we will get to the Falcons game in a bit, but like when Tua was coming out of Alabama, the whole narrative was this is Drew Brees 2.0. The Dolphins can rectify the mistakes of the past and get the new Drew Brees. So it would be so Dolphins to actually get the new Drew Brees and go, we don't want you no more. And then he does amazing.
Well, we didn't want Drew Brees when he was available.
Yeah,
I don't think anything's changed with this fan base. We are an overreactionary fan base, dude. We are totally that. And it's Miami. If you're not winning me something every day, then I think the literal South Florida thing is ingrained in that team because I've seen it forever. This is totally on par with this franchise, even if it's a different owner. You know what I'm saying? When the last time they pulled these types of things, it's just the way it is. The only thing I hope is that if they pull the trigger one way or the other, whether they stop what they're doing and see what they got and build around Tua and actually build around a proper, get a real running back. Not that Myles Gaskin. I think Myles Gaskin's great. And obviously, he's got 5 yards of carry. Run him, run a zone blocking scheme. Do what needs to be done. It's to me they need that kind of San Francisco style. If they set up the San Francisco offense, then it'd be good. It'd be good if they set that system up with the talent. They got guys to take the top off. They got guys to play slot, 3 wide receivers, extra blocker, 1 running back, and make that your base play. But they're not going to do it. And I think they're looking at Tua not being able to do it. And I think it's like Adam Gase, honestly. Adam Gase just hammered away his style of offense because it's new. It's what he knew how to do. And never the talent could work. The blocking, the guy they drafted, Tannehill, it's just too complex. They need someone to do it. And I think Godsey knows that Deshaun can. I think there's this behind the scenes love affair. It's like a spoiled thing. And it sucks because I think we could easily see Deshaun come here and all blow up in our face completely, whether he ends up in jail or it just doesn't work and he goes contract time and says, I want the hell out of here. You know what I'm saying? And we never get nothing. We watch them win one with San Francisco. And Tua's off somewhere in Washington and for crap, man, he might even be at the Saints winning Super Bowls for them. If Tua was on the Saints team, they'd be talking Super Bowl. Yeah. And on our team, we're talking, why isn't he winning us a Super Bowl? I got a million reasons why. And it's all scheme. It's all coaching. And I don't think it's talent. That's why I don't want – but Chris Greer usually – GM is the one that loses their head at times like these. And I think Flo is real tight. They're really good. I think Flo realizes he's next. If Chris Greer's gone, he is next
Of course.
because they're going to want to bring in an offensive-minded coach with an
Find Dable.
offensive-minded deal to anyone to have this brand new quarterback we just paid everything for, see what we got, and build a new scheme. And I still think defensively it can work. Offensively with the scheme or whatever, it doesn't work. It looks ugly. Tua makes it work. He does.
Yeah.
He makes it work. And it's not because of scheme. It's because he's a good quarterback doing what he needs to do. You could see where he's making the wins happen. And I think to get to the game this weekend, I think he can win this weekend and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'll give my reasons why and shit. Oh, sorry. Later.
No.
I don't want to swear on it. I know I've heard you guys swear. I don't know if you try to keep it out. So
I've been saying to Charlie for weeks. I am like, I was like
that's how people talk. So
I was like one game away from swearing, and I've kind of like managed to rein it in right now. And if me and Charlie had recorded a full Jags game review, I probably would have swore that game.
No, I'd never let somebody see what I looked like. No one would ever be allowed to see me in that state because it is ugly, man. I am a mad person seeing that. The refs really did us dirty. But you know what? You ain't gonna get no calls when you look this bad and you suck this bad. That's the bottom line. You ain't gonna get no ball bounces your way when you just look ugly anyhow. Why am I gonna do you a favor? We're not going to the playoffs. They're not gonna do it now. If that was Tom Brady out there, I don't care. If that was Tom Brady, he got every single call. If it was the Bills right now, Bills are getting the calls. You know, the only time they have a problem with the calls is when they're playing another marquee team. When you're out in the spotlight, you get shade on all over, bro. When you're out, that's just how it goes. You know, when we had Marino got that call. You know what I'm saying? Marino got that call. So they would be thinking, I don't want to hear Dan coming here cussing me out on the field right now. He could come here and get in my face, said that guy touched the ball or whatever it was, whatever bad, terrible calls they called on us or against us. You know, it's just a different standard, man, and we're getting kind of what we deserve right now. And it sucks, man. But I am hopeful because I still believe Tua is a great, superior talent amongst what I've seen us draft. I wouldn't call him superior. You know, he's not top 5, but I could see him being a great 10, 12-year career, maybe win a Super Bowl or two. That was my expectation for him with us. But I'm not seeing the scheme that obviously works for small, injury-prone, timing, run game. They did none of that. And I'm trying in the offseason to see the pieces they have and put it together of what I would do. And I looked at it, and that's not what they're doing. They're trying something else, and it looks like crap. I mean, Omar Kelly said to Coach Flo, I think, for 3 weeks straight on interviews, have you ever thought about putting Austin Jackson at guard? For 3 weeks, they said it. Everyone thought it. You thought it. You know, he asked him, though. He asked him in the interviews. And then they do it. And not that he's doing great. He still probably might not ever be a starting offensive lineman. But he looked better than he did at tackle. And he's not going to get your quarterback's head taken off. You know what I'm saying? By an elite madman weighing 235, you know, coming off the edge, ripped, crazy, you know, safety, you know, whatever.
So then, is there anyone? So no, on the Falcons game.
Yeah.
During the offseason, you know, I famously said that the Falcons defense was buns. Nothing about this Falcons defense scared me, and you know, we thought by now we'd be 4-2. You know,
oh no, this was a crosswind. We were looking through the Falcons when we saw them in the preseason. Now we look at the Falcons and go, oh man, you know, they can run the ball.
Yeah,
you know, they're that offense. There's a guy named John Michaels, or John McMichaels. I can't remember. I heard him, but he's on the flagship station in Atlanta, and he was talking to a Dolphin station not too long ago, and he's like, they're expecting to beat us. They're expecting to beat us. They like the talent on their team. I got Cordell Patterson on my fantasy team, as you know, for the league. He had been murdering. I just had my first loss, and that's because he was at a bye week. That guy's been killing it all year. But, you know, they're looking through us. Not through us.
Yeah.
They're looking to beat us. They're looking to beat us. And, you know, defensively, they still stink. You're right. They stink on defense, but they're putting it together. They got young guys trying to make up, you know. Their coach has got a good scheme. He's not doing what I'm seeing now, putting young guys in bad position for growing pains. You know, that's what it looks like a lot that we do. It's a lot of, well, you know, I know it's bad now, but in 3 weeks, it's, you know, it's going to be worth it because get the mistakes out early, get them out early. Now it's been 5 weeks of losing, and it's like, you know, unless we sweep the rest of the season, how the heck's that going to happen? It would be pretty amazing. If we ended up in the playoffs, this would be awesome. You know, I'll be so game.
If Tua and Flo make the playoffs from where they are now,
oh man, I'm buying season tickets.
Give them that.
I'm buying season tickets. That's it. I'm buying season tickets. I'm throwing money at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm ready
definitely.
to get a part of that. But you know, it's ugly.
Yeah, and I was chatting to 5 Yard Lee, and I was saying the one thing I don't understand what the Dolphins can't do is you watch any NFL game, though the full 60 minutes of it, and you'll see at least one play on each team where it's a touchdown deep and the guy's wide open, and it's things like the Dolphins,
a breakdown. I don't get it. Everyone, some guy slips running on man to man. It's a tall guy. He's running wide open. You just pitch it up. He catches it. When's the last time we seen that? You know who did that last? Well, it was Albert Wilson threw it to Jakeem Grant. That's the last time, and he wasn't that open either. That's the last time I seen something just stretched out where he ran it, he caught it, and then got a touchdown on it. I've seen him get caught middle of the field, Kasicki, but no one's ever housing nothing, bro. And it's sad. Like, where's our excitement? Where's our piece of the pie as fans? Like, we didn't even get a lot of that last year.
And I think that's what, even though the Falcons have a bunch defense, we're not going to beat them deep, you know, one play touchdowns. It's going to be it's going to be a lot of Tua, 91 yard, 12 play drives. That's what we need from you. And in that drive, there's going to be no offense, but an Austin Jackson, you know, hold probably.
Oh,
there's
totally.
Going to be someone else hold. There's going to be a full start, and you know, there's going to be at least one drop.
Or just guys not getting off the snap, man. Like, they know the count, and the ball gets snapped, and the defender beat you on the snap. I see that a couple times every game, and not once, but man, they just get beat, and it blows the whole play. And it's not like it's Aaron Donald beating the snap. It's some guy who's it's his third year, undrafted dude filling in for the injured guy, blowing up the play, and just making us look like bunts, you know.
Yeah. And it's like, and again, not to take it back to the Jags game, but it's something which we have to get right against the Falcons. We can't have penalties kill drives. And when I mean kill drives, so there was one point where it was the first half, so we're definitely winning. It might even have been, I believe it was still the first quarter, where Dolphins are driving down the field. It's like first and goal from the 10. 9-yard pickup, get to the 1 yard line, bring it back because there's a hold. I think it was on Stephen Carter, and then the Dolphins, had to settle for 3. And
they kill it. They kill us.
Yeah,
and it seems like it takes the wind right out of our sails, man.
Yeah, and that's what the Dolphins. So again, the one word I heard from players and coaches last week was close. They all said they were close, and I said it in the last episode that, outside of the Bills game and I guess the Colts game, the Dolphins are hanging in there against teams. Like even at the Bucs, I think in the first quarter we were down by 7, and then the Bucs just ran away with it. I genuinely believe that there's a real sense in this locker room that if they can tidy up 1 or 2 plays, again, Emmanuel Oba told me himself, it was like, it's just finishing plays. We've got the quarterback, take him down, and that's, you said it earlier, where last year, every single thing the Dolphins did, it worked. The Dolphins would get to the quarterback, fumble.
They blitzed, it got home. You know, and they blitzed it, and you got the ball off. It was getting snagged out of the air, interception.
There were times.
Go ahead.
So there were times on Sunday against the Jags where Jalen Phillips, in his fifth or sixth game in the NFL, was getting triple teams. So again, like teams know that the guys that this defense is nearly there, because we now got to start triple teaming guys. It's just.
Well, I heard something today to your point, what you're saying, triple team. Like when we see this team come out, they're not dialing up those blitzes anymore. They're not. Where's that Amoeba defense? The Joe Rose show. Everyone who follows the Dolphins probably hears the Joe Rose show sometimes and stuff. He literally does this. He has this thing called the Dancing Seven, is what he named it. He coined that. I haven't seen that all year. Do you remember it last game? It's Trevor Lawrence. He's a rookie. Why didn't I see that for him? Where you don't know who's coming. There's 6 or 7 guys up there, and some drop back or some go. Why are we just sitting and allowing quarterbacks and reacting on defense? That is not what we did last year. Is Bobby McCain gone and that happened? No, come on. Javon Holland, who looks like to be one of the best things out there, he's not the problem. Okay, we lost Kyle Van Noy, but we got Jalen Phillips. You just said they're triple teaming him. What the heck's going on? Why is the coaching so much worse? Why is the scheme so much worse on every piece of this team? Why? Why aren't they doing anything? It doesn't make sense, or it's untimely, or it's too late. It's kind of like when before Tua got there, they would try to run. Or I remember watching the Dolphins with Dan Marino back in the day, and Jimmy would force the run. Force it. And next thing you know, they're down 10, 14 points. And Dan Marino's like, I'm not going to sit here for the last 10 minutes of this game and do this anymore. It's not working. And he said, I'm taking this game over, and would tell Jimmy to F off and launch it and win the dang football game. And that's what Dan has done forever, and Jimmy literally got in his way. And Jimmy was he that way in Dallas? I don't know. Are we cursed in Miami? Do guys have to do it their way? Because what's going on? It's ridiculous. Oh, this works great, man. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the guys and get rid of them. I'm going to put new guys in that are going to be elite talents because I say so. And I'm not going to have to do tricky stuff. I'm going to do whatever I want. And it's like, why are you doing that? They think I hope they get it fixed, man, because it's pitiful with that. And you said they triple team Phillips, so they know. They're seeing it. Why aren't we? If he's triple teamed, someone's free.
Yeah.
If he is triple teamed, if he's double teamed, someone's free usually. If he is triple teamed, we should be intercepting the football or sacking a quarterback on that play. Why are we not getting home on that? They haven't changed the scheme to the talent they put out there, and it's like missing. It's missing. It's missing. And you keep saying they're close. That's what you heard them say.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think maybe they're close. But I don't know. Maybe if it does click, it'll look like just the amazingness last year. But I think we don't kid ourselves. We got lucky. It was an overachievement 10 wins.
Yeah.
You know
100%.
what I'm saying? Lucky in a lot of ways. That's not good. This is bad, with what's happening. And I think we can win this game coming up. But you're right. We got to do things like that. We can't make penalties. These are just ridiculous. This team didn't get penalized. If a guy's getting penalized, get him the heck off the field, man. If this is your Austin Jackson should not be on the field. He needs to be. I don't want to punish him because that's not cool. He's young, That's not. I'm not about that. But obviously he's struggling. Why are you letting him continue to struggle? Do anything different. Get him off. Let him take a breather. Maybe he's not better. I don't know. But it's just, God, man, do something. And I think they are. They look like they're panicked a little bit. And the fan base is panicking. I think to beat this team, we can't do the fouls, like you said. We got to, I hate to say it because he's on my fantasy team, we got to contain Cordell Patterson for the screens. You gotta, you can't. I wouldn't put man coverage on a big guy. I wouldn't put man coverage in the back end unless it's our top 2 guys. Do good zone in the back end because Pitts, if he's running stride for stride with you, he's big. He's like Gesicki. He take a step out in front of you and put his hand out. He's gonna get in front of you. I don't care how good a coverage you are. Same thing with Ridley. If he's healthy. They got to attack him on defense a certain way, but on offense, I don't think they can do anything other than dink and dunk. I think they'll call it, they'll try it, it'll fail, and Tua will only do what they can, and it'll look close to the numbers that we had last week, which aren't bad numbers. If Tua would have made, that didn't have that interception, they would be great numbers. That interception, and even that, in the relativity of where the game and when it was, it didn't kill us. It didn't hurt the game at all. So the defense has got to step up.
And that's the thing. It's like that interception. Tua then on the next time we got the ball, when on a 91-yard touchdown drive to get back in front.
Oh yeah, he made it up instantly. And he did that because, let's get real, I've seen guys making big mistakes on that drive, and he's getting the ball out. He's, buying time somehow. He's finding his pre-snap reads, and the quarterback we were promised is there. And I think that's why, we're all upset to hear back to the Deshaun stuff. He's what we thought he was. Why are you not doing what we thought you were going to do with him?
Yeah.
It looks wrong all over the place. And
he didn't get sacked.
It feels like intentional. I'm not conspiracy. Are they doing it intentionally? I mean, is Flo dumb? No, he's not dumb. No, I see. I'm not saying that. I don't know topic. You know what I'm saying? We can go crazy here, put some tin hats on. Yeah. But it's just, wow, man. From where you're sitting, you're making sense. And I get it. It's easy to Monday quarterback it. You know what I'm saying? But, God, man, some of it seems pretty obvious or just forced.
The one thing – if we allow Matt Ryan to sit back and pick us apart, he will do that.
Because, he's Matty Ice.
Yeah, exactly. So to me, it's about getting in his face. This is still a bad Falcons team. It's a bad Falcons team against an even worse Dolphins team. And to me, it's about which team is going to go out there and feel themselves. Which team can say, you know what? No more L's. We're not leaving the field with another W. Dolphins might be 1-5, but we're gonna play like we're 5-1. We're gonna take the game to you. Because I asked, once he finally heard me, I asked Jalen Waddle, why is it that this offense can play really well in the first quarter, really well in the fourth quarter, and then the second and third, it slows down. Waddle says it doesn't slow down. We literally all see that it slows down. And I think a lot of people are saying that the Dolphins get ahead and then they kind of pull it back. They rein it back. They try and get too cute. And to me, it's once you go ahead, it's what I like to say, lean on them. Just lean on them, man. You're up 14, 21, 28. And you literally...
Yeah. So it's the ugly 90-yard drive, like you said. If it's winning, don't break. If they can't stop it, why are we changing? I agree with you. They're getting cute, and maybe that's what needs to happen. They're just getting cute. They're like, you know what? That last drive, running the ball and doing this and doing that. Let's do these so later in the game when we call these plays, they'll be set up that way. Last year, the offense with Chan Gailey, he's like, I'm going to run this outside run until I see you move that guy and take it away. And they need to get back to just a little bit more basic football. I think you're right. I think they're trying to – I think – They heard the criticism from the fans that we liked everything we saw, but we're not going to win nothing unless we can throw the ball like Patrick Mahomes and, dice them up. We have Josh Allen or whatever. We're not going to be able to, get anywhere in here. I think maybe that got in their head a little bit. Maybe they thought, maybe we do need to change this up. We need to start doing that kind of stuff. But they're way ahead of themselves. We don't have the the offensive line has been a different starting offensive line and shooken up every freaking week. Think of how much they're shuffling it all up all week during the practice. How the heck is there any cohesion from the most important thing on offense? And the defense, I don't really know what's going on with the defense, man. Defense is to me, I thought Jerome Baker ain't the guy I thought he was. He's not a bad player, but he's obviously not the guy that can run the whole defense. Because if he could, they wouldn't be missing these guys right in the center of the field. There wouldn't be a breakdown in coverage and stuff. Bro, we should be able to sack Matt what's his name? Matt Ryan and blow him up at least a couple of times. I guess I think that comes to scheme though. Back to what I was saying earlier. I think they're not blitzing. They want to not blitz. They want to sit back and take the ball. I think they're they're playing into the things they want to do and things they think they are, this takeaway football team that intercepts things, rather than just doing it the way that's gonna work. They're
Yeah.
trying to force it too much. I agree, man. I'm glad he said that, because now I'm thinking it a little different. They need to take what can agree, like can get done. In the second quarter, they've changed how they're gonna do it. Why would they do that? Why are they now trying to do a pass? I can't remember the last game, but they get so cute in the third quarter coming out. It's just stupid. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out.
At one point, and again, me, watching on my gaming monitor, from all the way in London, it's like very early on they go, okay, Jalen Waddle on motions, it works, and then he gets a few nice, first downs, and they go, okay, well, we know that works. Let's see if jump ball to Devontae Parker works. It's like, well, no, like the Waddle thing works. Keep on doing that until they double team Waddle, and when they double team Waddle, then find Parker, then find Gesicki. You get the situation where the only time they go deep is to like a Matt Collins. Why not go deep to a Jalen Waddle? At one point, like the one play Jacoby Brissett came in and he had that deep pass down the field to a tight end, it was a Durham Smythe. Why is that? So we're sitting there going,
we know Mike Gesicki works.
Yeah.
But let's see if someone else can work. I mean, you saw Mike got 100 yards last game, but he didn't get – how many targets he get the first 3-4 weeks of the season? Only the last 2 weeks have they started going, well, you know what? These other tight ends suck. We should see if, Mike could do it. Mike's out here snatching everything around him. You're right. They're getting too cute, and it's ridiculous, and it's costing us our season. And it's bad. If they don't get cute, you're right. But I think maybe this is Flo's deal. You got to think the first year he blew the team up. See what sticks. Throw things to the wall. It's all whatever. Then the year before he got lucky. In the beginning of the year we got a little rough, but we had a veteran quarterback that's able to be a coach on the field on offense helped us a lot. And those key veterans in Kyle Van Noy keeping everyone up front, and then Bobby McCain keeping everyone in the back is really, those three things really took the breath right out of this team, because Flo's actually doing exactly what he did. He's just not getting lucky. And, he's trying something stupid and it worked. He's trying something stupid and you're like, it looked ugly. But they're hammering at it. It's like for a couple weeks, you decide to try to slide him into guard. For a couple weeks, you decide to flex Mike Gesicki out to, the slot and have him run the seam and beat up guys, that are half his height, and he could go like this. Can't jump, he's a real solid guy. So but he can stick his hand out and snatch anything. I don't care. He's amazing at that, and he's tough. I don't know, man. This is a winnable football game. Definitely. We can beat this team. But
do you know
what Dolphins are we gonna get, Kadeem? What Dolphins are we gonna get? Are we gonna get the ones?
I think like I said earlier, to me, there's no such thing as a winnable game, because we lost to the Colts and we lost to the Jags. But this is definitely a game which the Dolphins might be able to win. And I think in terms of which Dolphins they're gonna get, listen, I'm gonna channel my inner Charlie, and I'm gonna be the positive one. I backed the Dolphins to win by 2 touchdowns last week. I backed them to do it this week. I think we're going to get a Dolphins team which are going to feel physically sick after the way they just lost to that Jags game. They're going to want to, for varying reasons, either play well enough to get into the trade window and try and get traded to a contender to win the Super Bowl this year, or they're going to play well enough to show that if for whatever reason it's going to get blown up, I deserve to stay in Miami. Mike Gesicki is essentially playing for a contract, but Mike is going to play like Mike. Mike's going to ball out in his chill demeanor.
He's a professional, man. He really rounded out to like the exact professional football player. You see him, he gets it. He's a good soldier. You're never going to hear what's going on in the back office with him. He's never going to he'll tell you. He's a very candid guy, but he's a pro. He's a professional football player, and we'll see him being a pro through his second contract. I could see him maybe after injuries later in the career, but he's the kind of guy that gets a third contract. He's gonna be around for a bit. That's a real football player, which is the reason we probably won't end up keeping him, because that's just what we do, man. We just do that, that stinks.
Yeah,
I'm afraid that guys like that, they think they're cute enough to let go and get the next one,
Yeah. Let's jump into No Huddle.
Yeah.
So the injury report this week is I'll start with the weather. It's in Miami this weekend, so it's 83 degrees Fahrenheit and 28 degrees. 28 degrees Celsius.
Yeah. You're there, man. You're good.
And then in terms of the injury report, this is the Falcons look relatively healthy. Dante Fowler did not participate due to an injury, and then Jalen Hawkins was a full participant, and Avery Williams was limited.
They're coming off a bye, man. They're gonna be healthy.
Yeah,
they were on a
the
bye.
Dolphins, so the Dolphins have these are the guys who are limited in practice on Thursday, just limited.
Mm-hmm.
Jacoby Brissett, Malcolm Brown, Xavier Howard, Austin Jackson, John Jenkins, Brandon Jones, Byron Jones, Greg Matt, Jalen Phillips, Tua Tagovailoa, Preston Williams, and then Elandon Roberts, Shaheen, and Devonta Park. No, Elandon Roberts and Shaheen were full participants, and Devontae was limited. But the Dolphins are beat up going into Sunday's game. I believe that Tua will be fine. I'm sure Brandon Jones will be fine. I'm sure Austin Jackson will be fine. Whether we see Xavier Howard, Preston Williams, Devontae Parker, and Byron Jones, couldn't tell you. But at the moment, they're all limited. So I don't know. What do you have for fantasy? Or do you wanted to talk about the injury?
Oh yeah, I think I watched a little bit of the interviews. I'm sure you did too. It seems to me, from the thing I'm getting, they were doing a lot of walkthroughs. And honestly, after that beating they took from the Jags, or not a beating, but the loss, it wasn't a beating. They won by a field goal at the end. The travel, they're not getting a bye. I think the coaching staff, I think this was planned to give them a lot of time off. I wouldn't put too much worry as us beat up, as much as this is load management, kind of an NBA type thing. And it couldn't come at a better time because, like you said, if it is them just not clicking, if it is them just being that close, then a week like this might make that happen. And that's what I think. A week like this might make that happen. If they walk around, they go, you know what, we've been losing, takes the pressure off. They turn the music up, they're dancing, they're in shorts and they're throwing balls around. That's what I think a good coach would do. I'm hoping that's what happened. Because right now they fought good, they fought hard. It didn't bounce their way. They had everybody in the game did something to lose it. Everyone on both, nobody did anything to win it, and everyone did something to lose it. And if a good coach would recognize these guys, I can't come in here and yell at them. I can't come in here and run them out. They just flew across the freaking ocean. Let's just chill. I mean, Charlie Touche got took out. He's on IR right now. Let's just take a week down. It's a down week for the team, down week for the show. Recoup. We're going to be here Sunday. We're going to show up with our best foot forward. And if it doesn't bounce our way, we're going to just accept that too, but we're not going to kill ourselves right now because it did look like things failed. That's what pisses us off, man. Yeah. Things are failing. What are they failing? You guys, we had so much hope. So I think they're like, I think they got good perspective. So I think the limited is not that. I agree. Xavier Howard, we know he's got a groin injury. We know Byron's banged up. We know those guys. I mean, they're the back end players. They run full mile speed and tackle guys that catch the ball that are big. And they played a lot on defense extra early in the season. Ever since Tua went out, I mean, they've got like an extra game and a half right now on defense than they do on offense. So I could see that. As far as fantasy, move on to fantasy. I will be starting Cordell. I won't. Just because the Dolphins want to be losers don't mean I got to be a loser on fantasy, bro. I'm not rocking that. That's it, bro. I don't have to be a loser. So, if I lose, I'll be happy. If I win, at least I won't be pissed. That's how I look at that, dude. That's how I look at it, because not that if I lose fantasy, it's for fun anyhow, but I feel like I'm right where I thought I'd be. I was so, how much I lost by last week? My point?
How
Did you see
much?
it? Just over a point.
Oh,
Just over 1 point. But check this out. The week before, I had that game that Mark Andrews went crazy for, because I got Mark Andrews on my team and
yeah.
on Monday night and stuff. I forget who I was going against. I'm sure you guys know who they are. I literally needed like 45 points to even win the game, and he still had the defense, the Baltimore defense. I had 1% chance to win, and I won that thing by like, I don't know, 0.65 points or whatever it was. It was ridiculous. I don't know who I went against last week. Not last week, but the week before in fantasy or whatever it was with that. You should have won that game, bro. I got lucky. I'm not going to lie. I try to be smart with fantasy. That was the luckiest game of fantasy ever. I got like a picture. I took a screenshot of it like at halftime because it was still marching up, but I still had 1%. And it went from 1% projection to 100%. And what's crazy is he got 0 points on his defense because it went to overtime, which took points away because you kind of get them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I only needed like a little bit more. And the first pass they threw on offense was to Mark Andrews. It was a small, short pass, and that's how I won the game. The first pass in overtime. I mean, I like I said, he should have won that game. So I should be with 2 losses, but I only got 1. But it wouldn't have changed nothing because I'm winning anyhow, bro. You know that.
Listen, fantasy. I think Charlie messaged me saying like set your team, and I was like, maybe I will. Like,
you should shuffle your team, bro. You got talent. I know it feels like a wash. Tua balled, I'd start Tua for certain, man. I think he's going to do good against this week for sure. I think he'll do good. I will. I think maybe then 1 interception. I could see Tua just if I talked to you last week, I was pretty close on Tua's numbers. I thought he could do good against the Jags. I said he could, as a fan, I went hard. I said 350, yards passing, a couple yards running, 1 rushing touchdown, 2 passing touchdowns, and no interceptions. And he was pretty close to that. So if he would have ran one in and didn't throw that interception, I'd have hit it on the money. I should have went to Vegas. So, but what do you got this week in fantasy? Are you going to roll anything different? I know you're just kind of just letting it just consume.
Listen, once this episode's finished, I'm going to go to sleep and I'll edit it in the morning. So in terms of fantasy, it's going to be a matter of I might take a look at it. I might make 1 or 2 changes, but
hit me up for one of them trades. I got a couple of guys you might want. I need some of those players.
And that's the thing. I'm very much once I give up on fantasy, don't even mess me for trades because I don't care no more. Like I would in my other league, I've got Derrick Henry, and I'm doing bad as well. People are like, just give me Henry. I'm like, no.
No, you can't have him. I'm gonna lose with him. I'm gonna lose with him. I know.
Like if I'm gonna lose, at least I'm gonna lose with a few decent people. But so that's fantasy talk.
To kind of fill in for Charlie just a tad second, I made a trade with him. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he would have mentioned it if he was here. And he got a good trade, man. I feel a little schemed out, I'm just messing with him now. He wanted that Keenan Allen. I remember listening to you guys back in the summer, and he was talking about Keenan Allen's his secret weapon. I'm like, hey, that's my secret weapon. How do you know about my secret weapon? So I knew to get him when I seen him drafting in the thing in like the 5th or 6th round, and I did. So he wanted him, and we traded. He got a good fair trade, and so did I. I'm just playing. But he ended up getting Jonathan Taylor out of the deal. And, of course, Taylor, that was the week. I traded him right before the Dolphins game, knowing he was going to be worth something to someone who knew they were going to play the Dolphins, I think it was. And he's done good. And last week he just did real good. Oh, no, it was before the Monday night game. Not that. That's all right. I can't remember which week. I got too much going on. But the Jonathan Taylor's good. He gave me Dalvin Cook. That was all I wanted was Dalvin Cook. I needed a good running back because Jonathan Taylor was so he wasn't doing good all year. And honestly, I don't believe in the Colts. I know they're getting all these primetime games and they won a couple. I don't think the Colts are going to be over 500. Maybe just over 500, but they're not going to like the playoffs or nothing. I think I don't like Wentz. I think he's 1 hit away from that goofy guy just snapping his whole lower extremities. And I know from a Dolphins fan with a quarterback that's ready to get snapped in half potentially, I don't know. Wentz just looks like one of those big dudes that he's still gonna run for it when Big Ben would fall to the ground nice and gentle, So I think he's gonna regret until he does the Big Ben thing where he just shoulders guys off. He's gonna struggle. I don't believe that they're gonna be much this year. So
well, it's one thing people noticed about Tua last week, and that he slid well. It's like
he looked great,
and that's the thing. And again, it's one of the things where you can literally see the development as you're going along. It's like,
you see a great thing. Oh, you see it, dude. He looks good, and he slides and stuff like that. You're right, man. He looks legit. He is not the reason this team's losing. He did not. He's the only one outside of one mistake, which everyone did. He did a great job last week. He is not the problem. He's not the problem, and that's why that's why it would be so Dolphins to end up in the situation that seems like we're all like not looking at it, but he's going to be somewhere nice, winning a Super Bowl while we're rebuilding with a new coach going, why did we do that? And the guy might be in jail. I hate it, but it just seems like maybe it'll work out this time. I'm a real fan. I'm going to wait and see it. That's for sure. So,
okay. So then before we go into bonus time, I'll ask you two questions and simple yes, no answers. The first, do we beat the Falcons on Sunday?
Oh, man. I'm going to say yes, because I think the team's going to fight for him. I think they're going to fight for him. I think they obviously hear what we hear. And I think honestly, the fact that they're a little underwhelming is because they all know and stuff like that. Like, think about it. If the guy who runs your whole deal, is losing his job, you're not going to fight as hard. But now when you think he might be losing his job, you're going to fight real hard for him. Even if it's not going to happen and they don't say that anyhow, I think he has the ability to beat that defense better than Matt can beat our defense with the weapons he's got. I think we can win because of that reason. If the defense, we don't have our top two corners, and Noah Igbenogany was not bad. A lot of people ripping him. I get it. I get for a first-round pick, you expect him to be the end-all, be-all, but I thought he did good, man. I thought as a young guy for his second start, it's a second start, right? Third, maybe his third. He hasn't played at all, comes in and fills in as a starter. He looked good, man. I thought he did all right. I think more playing time by the end of the year. If he's played the rest of the year, I think by the end of the year, we're going to go, you know what? That was a pretty good darn pick, right there. I think that's what'll come, really.
Okay.
What's the second question?
And again, simple yes or no.
Okay.
Do we trade for Watson?
Yes.
Okay. I think we beat the Falcons, but I don't think we trade for Watson. I think to be completely honest, I think the Dolphins will be too scared to do it. I think them and the Texans won't reach an agreement. I think they won't get the protection on the picks, and I think they'll just go, you know what? We're not giving up 3 first-round picks for someone who could be in jail next year. It's just not worth it. So stay tuned for bonus time.
I agree.
Yeah. Stay tuned for bonus time. I've got some more questions for you. But this is for Kadeem Simmons. No. Again, I don't even know how Charlie does this. It's something like, no, it's for Kadeem Simmons. No. For Charlie Adams, I'm Kadeem Simmons. We're doing it this time.
Chris Adams, Kadeem Simmons. This is Go Time Dolphins, not only across the pond, but across the world.
Yeah. It's also stay positive, test negative.
Test negative, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. And then
he did test negative too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, he did. It ain't just words. He tested negative. So
exactly.
We'll see when the other test results come back. We'll see what's good with that.
Yeah. This time, to say, you know what? Bonus time in a minute.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's showtime. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's showtime. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time.
I can't do that either.
Well, I mean, you got the accent, so I can get it. I got a little bit of that southern jaw, so I can only kind of already, I got the little twang on there. But
I tried last episode. It felt so badly. I'm not doing it again.
I knew what you did, and no, I didn't think you failed that bad. I think you had your own. You know what you need? Don't already, because that's a South Florida kind of already. Try to. What's the English already? What's that?
All right, safe.
Perfect.
That's it.
Perfect, bro. All right, safe. Perfect. That's the exact same thing. So he already, all right, safe. That's exactly what you need. More of that English flavor, not the English food, not the cuisine so much. I mean, I don't know. I know Gordon Ramsay the best chef, but I'm not eating liver. I'm not eating liver and onions or something like that.
He's Scottish.
Oh. So how much I know. If he was playing on the Dolphins, I'd have known that.
So trade deadline next week. If you could trade one player away and get one player back, not in the same, but two different trades, somewhat realistic as well. We're not going to go and get Patrick Mahomes, but who would you trade away and who would you bring in?
Well, I think a lot of people would say trade Devontae Parker away. I think that would be it. I think if you were going to get a value trade, it would have to be Mike Gesicki. Maybe not Tua, because that's keeping it without the craziness. So one of those two guys to trade away. Ideally, it would be Parker. You wouldn't get much, but potentially it would be Gesicki because you would get probably what you wanted. And to get with us, man, I don't know. This team doesn't value running back, so it wouldn't be a running back, even though we would desperately need one. I wish we would have figured out how to draft Najee Harris. I see him running up there. If we had Najee Harris on this offense right now, and don't get me wrong, I love Phillips. I didn't want him over, I wasn't going to pick him there. If we could have traded back and got him, that'd have been awesome. But I don't know, man. That's the sick problem. It'd have to be an offensive lineman. It'd have to be a left tackle. Whoever's coming up, I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. Probably somebody out of Baltimore. It seems like every time I turn around, they're losing some top tackle that goes and gets paid big money and is great. The guy that just got injured the other night playing on Monday night. Who was it that got injured?
One position, Andrew, where we've seen injuries on the team.
You're good. Now, I would think a tackle would be a good position to get. Left tackle, solidify it. Even if it was like a veteran that you had to pay in a contract and then, pay out the last 2-3 years or something like that and give – it'd be nice, actually, a 2-year contract, keep him for one the rest of this year and next year, help him groom Austin Jackson. That would be awesome. That would be great because then it's a double win there. You fix the left tackle spot and you get someone to show Austin Jackson and you give him time. So we're not looking at this first-round pick going, Chris Greer needs to lose his job. Do the kind of the switcheroo and hide him like they did Iggy. I'd like to see him play more, though.
Yeah. I know there's, the chances are both, or one or both, Byron Jones and Xavier Howard don't play this weekend. I think, given where the Dolphins are, the 1-5, playoffs are done, I think now more than ever, you need to see what you have in Austin Jackson, Noah Igbenogany, and Tua. You need to know by the end of the season whether, you need to know whether they're going next year or whether you need to, do X, Y, and Z. So for me, Noah starts the rest of the season. And there's going to be some bad times. I just think we have to accept it. And I just think we can't have another season. Given that we have nothing left to play for, I know some people will say, okay, trade Xavier Howard. Well, you just paid him. You should have done it before you paid him. You've messed up there. You're not going to trade away Byron Jones. I wouldn't trade away Christian Wilkins. I wouldn't trade away Emmanuel Ogba. Again, I think like with you, I'm looking at either Devontae Parker or Albert Wilson.
So you wouldn't fire sale the team? Because I was going to ask you that question. Because the season's a loss, okay? And I think this is a real possibility because Chris Greer is the only guy I've ever seen with the set big enough to do it, where he literally said, we're going to burn this team to the ground and we're going to trade anything and everything. If they kind of did that right now again and burned everything, I know it sucks. We'd all be like, oh God, talk us off the friggin' deep end. But if they burned it now and kept the picks they picked, even for better or for worse, and got rid of the talent that they're gonna have to pay, like Gesicki, like Christian Wilkins, talent they already paid that they don't believe in potentially, like Jerome Baker. I get it. It's a terrible idea. It puts us behind. But if we get a new quarterback like they're thinking, they should probably go ahead and do that too. If they're going to get a new quarterback, fire sale arrest, load back up the picks, start it all over on a different timeline, and maybe this might be something a year or so later when the legal stuff is out. I can see that kind of happening, honestly, something to that similar. Because this is what I think, if the trade deadline comes and goes like you said you think it is, I think not too much further after that happens, you see Chris Grier fired. And I think right now, Chris Grier's been around forever. There's no way that everything he's done in that building, which is where he's been his entire career almost, is not logged. So there's a log somewhere where his picks, his ideas have worked. That's why every regime, owners, that's why he made it. So you can't really fire him. I mean, you can. But if you do, you got to fire the guy he hired. You got to do all that stuff, and you got to start all over. That's what we're heading for, man. And I don't think Ross already said today or yesterday, he wants to win now. He's not trying to blow it all up. That's why he already did it. I think I could seriously see where he can go, okay, rather than a 4-year plan to get to the AFC Championship game, because that's what I think we were on, to get to be a playoff team, to try to win a Super Bowl before we pay the rookie quarterback. It made sense to all of us. It really did. And if they did it right and built it right, it would. I think Chris Grier, I don't think he evaluates talent badly. I think they made bad picks, and I think he erred on the side of caution to flow. Which one do you want? Yeah. And he picked. And I think Ross knows that. It's not like it was in the beginning where Ross hired the guys and stood back, and he's always been involved. But when Bill Parcells came, he let Bill Parcells take it, and he drove us into. He built it the right way. It was just the wrong time to build a team that way. It's why it didn't work. Yeah. But it just seems like that could happen where they could just burn it all down and get a new quarterback. If they do that route, that's what they should do. And not get rid of obviously Jalen Waddle. Let's keep that guy or Phillips. These are great. But it would cost you guys like Christian Wilkins. It would cost you guys like Mike Gesicki. But those are old regime type of guys, anyhow. Not Christian Wilkins, but you know what I mean. I could see that really happening for sure, bro. I really could.
So the reason I don't think they'll blow it up is because basically 2 years into it, there's really not much to blow up. Like if you're blowing up, you're looking at Mike Gesicki, Byron Jones, and Xavier Howard. I think Christian Wilkins I'll probably keep. And again, Christian Wilkins is someone who through the first
I would love to keep him.
Yeah, and through the first 2 weeks, everyone's going, Chris Grier missed on Christian Wilkins, and then ever since then, it's like, oh, actually, he's a really, really good player. It's like, yeah, there you go. How about we
No, I agree, but I think, okay, what do you think they're going to get for Byron Jones right now? Even in the end of the year, if we're a sucky team, unless X gets another 7-8 picks this year, which maybe he will, but he'll be another year older. Those knees will be another year older. They know he's that kind of guy. What's Byron Jones going to get? To trade those guys away are you're not gonna gain anything. You're just getting rid of them in the cap. So it's not like you're gaining. You're kind of cutting them in a way with a trade. You might get a third, a compensatory kind of stuff or something. Maybe if you let a guy walk, those are washes. And at this point, if you're gonna actually try to build something to win with, you're gonna need to keep X. You're gonna need to keep Byron Jones. And I agree. X should have been gone. We paid him. We got to keep him now. That's what I think. We got to keep him now and make him play his contract and stuff like that, unless we turn this year around, which I think is a far-fetched idea. What do you think we could get for those types of guys? That's the thing. I don't think we're going to get anything.
Yeah.
Christian Wilkins, Someone's going to give you something for that.
Yeah.
You know, you get a right team. It might be a high second-round pick, but then, or a high first-round pick, you know, or in the lows, you know, like a 22nd guy. Some team chasing after a Super Bowl that need a defender like that.
Yeah.
You know, I think on a different team, you put them on a team like Kansas City, and I know they don't have an elite defense by any stretch of the imagination, but they got enough. And with Patrick Mahomes in that offense, putting so much pressure on you, forcing you to throw the ball all day, he could just pin his ear back. He lost that weight. He looks quick in there. When they're playing against a run, I see him getting manhandled. They double team him. He gets thrown down now. But if they mess up and have him go one-on-one, I see him. He looks good. He does. He's legit.
Yeah.
But it's all relative, isn't it? It's such a tricky game and such a tricky thing to build a winning football team. It's almost like if you miss on like a couple parts here and a couple parts there, it's almost like, damn, you're screwed. This whole season means nothing in certain ways, because it takes the stars aligning and all this nonsense to get to the Super Bowl and win it, unless you've got a crazy freak athlete in the important positions like running back, wide receiver, quarterback. Where's our freak at on this team? Nobody's a freak. Nobody is drafting any Dolphins players in fantasy first overall.
Nice.
Second, not in the top 50, 75 picks. They're not picking none of us. Jalen Waddle's the highest pick in Gesicki, and they're probably real close. And Gaskins got picked, but no one's happy that they picked him.
Yeah.
This is a bad thing. And until you change that fact, you ain't winning nothing. You can't win nothing. And not that fantasy football's the measuring for real football, obviously, but those are the facts. There's not, and these guys can be elite talent, but none of them are win you Super Bowl freak athlete, take a game over running back. I watched Derrick Henry take that game over. He busted him. He had like 200 plus all-purpose yards. He doesn't just do that. He does that 4 games, 5 games a year. You get him in the playoffs, he's doing it every playoff game. You have to stop that guy. And now they got Julio Jones. Their defense sucks, but they don't have to be great, because they're going to put so much pressure on you on offense, because if we're not running it down your throat, Tannehill's play action pass, roll out, throw it to one-on-one coverage to Julio Jones or Davis. We got nothing like that right now, bro. That sucks. And they should have built it like that for Tua, and they just didn't. They go, we don't need a running back. We don't need this. We don't need that. We don't need all these talented guys on defense. I'll make do, because the offense is going to be better. The defense won't need to be as good. Offense took a step back. Defense took a step back. Special teams took a step back. They really made some bad things, and I think the only clear choice for them right now is the easy choice. And that's a guy literally saying, come on, I'm a top 5 quarterback. And let's get real. That game he comes back when he's all cleared from all this nonsense, that year he plays football, what do you think he's going to do? Because a freak athlete, a freak talent like that, what do you think he's going to do when that's behind him? He is going to march. He is going to will whatever team he's on, not just to the playoffs, but deep. Maybe to if there was a time where you could put talent around that kid and make a run for the Super Bowl, it'd be the year he had those, like Tom Brady did. Tom Brady got the deflate gate. He went out and was pissed and willed it, because that's what a freak elite football player looks like. They go, you don't take my football from me. I'm a football all over you guys. That's what they do. Yeah. And that's what that stinks, because mismanagement, bad coaching, luck of the draw, I don't know. But they're looking like that, and they have an answer. Be it that, it's a guy with 22 allegations and 10 criminal things. But if it happens, you can bet your ass that they know what's coming, whether suspensions, criminal. Dude, I mean, these guys play different games than us, bro. This is billionaires. They got ex-CIA agents as their guards and stuff. They know everything about everything. If he was out there doing this stuff, then he did it, and they'll never get him. If he ends up on the team, I don't want to say that's all I need to hear, but you can bet that the NFL wants him back. NFL is a funner game with talent like that, and everybody knows it. They might say, yeah, he's got 6 games. He appeals to 4-3. He might get 4-3. They might not even have it that much when it's all said and done. It might be 2-3 games because he's a quarterback and the numbers and everything are clamoring. And once he gets there, we might, if they traded from this year, he'd play out the rest of this year, come back, miss the first 3 weeks. We all know what we got. It's all set in stone. They traded a bunch of stuff, they come out. If he's on our team by next year and they did this, we're going to the playoffs. There's no doubt in my mind. I don't care who's on the football team. That kid is going to make sure he goes, yeah, I'm a winning football star. Love me again. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't the bad guy no more. And that's just the facts, bro. I mean, that's just the facts. I think Big Ben, the year after that, won the Super Bowl, right?
Football is a
You got to think about stuff like that, dude. That's the political part of this thing.
Of course, yeah. It's one of the things. But and again, I've said it on this podcast before, and I'll say it again. For me personally, with those allegations over his head, I want him nowhere near the Miami Dolphins. But do you know what? I don't get paid to make those decisions. We'll know.
No. Scary.
Yeah,
Scary.
we'll know in a week whether he's a Dolphin this season or not. But we lost Chris. I was literally just about to say, catch us in the next episode. The Falcons review. Peace. All right, safe.